Yo, 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 what's up, all you burner stoners and potheads? This is Weedman 420 with the Weedman 420 Chronicles. How are all you vipers doing out there? Mrs. Weedman.
Mr. Weedman.
How the hell are you?
Doing all right.
I'm great.
You're great?
I'm great.
That's
if you're
good.
great. Hey, all you vipers out there, hopefully you're smoking some big fat doinks while you're listening to the show. Mrs. Weedman and I are about to get normal. We're smoking Strawberry Shortcake once again because this strain put us in the right place at the right mood at the right time for the shows. Mrs. Weedman, light that bad baby up and let's get high, normal. Man, we week 2 of watching White Lotus, and once again you fell asleep.
Yeah, I did.
Like the last 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you fell asleep. Great episode again. So if you're watching White Lotus, I won't say any spoilers. Great episode. Just lots of they just come out of the gate. You know, the first 2 episodes, it's like, you're like, man, they got to keep this going because it's so good. But what's the one actress that she's our age. She's been in a lot of movies. She played Kennedy's wife, Jackie Onassis. She's in this show as the mom.
Oh, Parker Posey.
Oh my gosh.
And she always plays such a quirky character, and she is really quirky.
So quirky.
In a great way.
Oh my gosh.
She's just so wacky.
Oh, so funny. So funny. She's making the show for me. You know, there's certain actors or actresses in that episode in White Lotus that like make the episode for me, make the show. There's like this just when she's
pretty funny.
Yeah, she's funny. She's
always on some sort of she's popping some pill.
Couple pills, 2
and
different
then making
kinds
these
of
kind
pills.
of wacky comments. It's funny.
It's a good show. I haven't watched it.
It's good.
Please, it's a good show to watch.
I don't know. I've read some reviews. We're not far enough in it yet, but I've read reviews that it isn't a good season.
Really?
So, yeah, we'll have to see.
We'll have to see. I was doing my normal research, you know, reading and studying and getting the show ready. And I always come through these whacked out articles or weird and wild articles around the world. I didn't know this was a thing. The phobia of ketchup. I like ketchup on my fries.
Yeah.
And I like ketchup on what else? Hamburgers, cheeseburgers. Mm-hmm. Right?
Hash brown. Yeah, and
hash
fried
browns.
potato.
Yeah, fried potatoes.
Potato.
Not a baked potato.
No.
Fried potato. Or I knew somebody as a kid, my aunt used to put ketchup in her mashed potatoes.
Ugh.
Oh my God, it was gross. So gross.
That's terrible.
But, so this person has a fear of ketchup. And it's called, I'm going to butcher this. I'm going to try to say it. It is called mortuus scopius phobia.
Wow. Pretty big word.
I listened to that word like 17 times to get it right. Mortuus scopius phobia, a crippling fear of ketchup. Like it's a condiment.
Yeah.
It's like, and this person has such a fear of ketchup, it makes them so nervous that it feels like they're being held by gunpoint. You were saying something before the show about this when I sent you this to read just as a laugh. Yeah. You were saying something about this also. What were you saying? Like this person works at a restaurant or something and
the video. It's a looping video of her squeezing like a big vat of ketchup into jars for tables at a restaurant. I'm like, why would you pick a job like that? Right? Why? Or you'd have to like swap out that chore. You couldn't have that responsibility, right? Could you imagine? And she was like, or whatever that like, motion is, like you're throwing.
Right? Up. Like imagine, imagine like going down the condiment aisle at the grocery store.
She can't even do that. She can't even see the jar. She said it was like the equivalent of like if someone stuck you up at gunpoint.
Right.
Like how shocked she feels.
Like how does that happen?
And fearful.
How's that? That's a phobia.
It is.
Like the fear
That's a problem.
It's a crippling fear of ketchup.
She said she liked ketchup when she was a kid. She doesn't even know why she has a phobia.
There's one place she would like to go here in Chicago though.
Where?
The one place that doesn't serve ketchup and they tell you to get the hell out of here. What's it called?
Where? Are you talking about where they yell at you?
Yes.
The Wiener Circle.
The Wiener Circle.
Yeah.
She would like that place.
Yeah.
Because there's no ketchup there.
No ketchup.
They don't allow
no
it.
ketchup.
No.
You don't ask for ketchup there.
In Chicago, they have ketchup, don't get me wrong, for French fries and for cheeseburgers. If you ask for ketchup at the Wiener Circle, they tell you what, get the F out of here, right? They'll scream at you.
Some of these hot dog stands don't have ketchup at all.
No. And they refuse.
They will just not have
a true Chicago dog place would tell you no. They will not put ketchup on their hot dog for you, even for a paying customer. It's sacrilege.
I think Gene and Jude's, they don't have ketchup.
No.
Like, they don't even have ketchup in the building.
Ketchup.
No ketchup in the building.
No ketchup for you.
Does Red Hot Ranch have ketchup?
Yes.
Packets.
Packets, yeah. There's a place.
That's a good place.
Okay. I think we talked about this on the show before. If you have not been to Red Hot Ranch, if you're in Illinois or you're coming in to Illinois, I'm telling you right now, if you're staying somewhere around Chicago on the north side, you need to go to Red Hot Ranch. It is. I live in the south side. If I lived in the north side, I'd probably be there once a week.
Oh yeah, easily.
That place is absolutely sent from God. I had somebody in town from the West Coast who loves In-N-Out Burger, and I love In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out Burger is fucking amazing. The double animal style, double fries, and a Neapolitan milkshake. Get your fries well done. That's a tip that someone gave me. That's from California. It game changed on the fries. Okay, fries well done. Neapolitan milkshake, animal style fries, double animal style burger. Call me in the morning and tell me how you feel. Oh my God. But there's a savior in this world. I cannot get to In-N-Out Burger, and I truly believe that this burger, for all you out there that love In-N-Out, I'm telling you, In-N-Out Burger has a special place in our hearts. Going to Petaluma, coming in from San Francisco, the first In-N-Out Burger is on Spencer Drive next to the grocery store. I've been going to that I went to that In-N-Out for 7 years. Okay, that's how much I love In-N-Out Burger. I fucking love In-N-Out Burger. But I'm telling you what, Red Hot Ranch, it's better. It's better.
It's just different.
It's better.
A different burger.
It is, but it's better.
Yeah, it is.
So when you're in town, tell me about it. Anyway, there's another crazy thing I sent you an article of just as a laugh. Did you have long? I don't know what long hair is. Okay, I don't know what. I haven't had hair for a very long time. Minute. Yeah, it's been a long time. And did you ever eat your hair? Like,
no.
Pull on it, twirl it, play with it.
You might run it. I think when you were a kid, you would run
it through your mouth.
You wouldn't eat it.
Okay,
you would just play with your hair.
Play with your hair, right?
And then you get in trouble for it.
Right. Yeah, right. You're not supposed to put your hair in your mouth.
Right. Why not?
This woman still will be addicted to eating her own hair.
Yes.
Like pulling her hair out and sitting there and chomping on it. Like literally eating it. Chunks of it. They literally had to do emergency surgery.
Yeah. She lost 15 pounds. She kept being nauseous. They couldn't figure out why. Yeah. And
they pulled out 15 centimeters of a ball of hair. You said it was the size of what? You said you measured it.
Like a 6-inch softball. Bigger than a grapefruit.
Gosh.
Could you imagine? Just impacted inside your bowels. Or your colon or your intestine, somewhere in there. I think it was in her intestines.
It was in her digestive tract with a small tail of hair trailing into her intestines and a second 4-centimeter hairball. You said that they told me they found two in there, nestled deeper in the bowel.
So a golf ball and a softball went for a walk in her
system.
It was just wadding up in there.
I mean,
she had to feel so sick.
I mean, I looked at the pictures.
Yeah,
they showed pictures of this hairball. Cats eat their hair by accident because they're cleaning themselves, and they spit up a hairball.
Right.
Humans aren't made to spit up hairball.
No,
especially not the size of a fucking softball.
Right.
What do you do?
We're not supposed to eat hair. It doesn't digest. It doesn't. I think it comes out if you ate hair and it actually made its way through, it would look just the same.
You get a hanger too.
Can't they find hair that's thousands of years old?
I don't know.
It just doesn't go anywhere.
It doesn't go anywhere, right?
Right.
Unless you're me, and then it went
it
somewhere.
Just stops.
It went everywhere else in my body, but the top of my head.
That's the craziest thing. Men that lose their hair on their head are so oftentimes hairy dudes.
Neck down.
It's you obviously have the ability to grow some hair
somewhere, but not where I wanted to grow. But I haven't had hair in so long, I don't even care anymore.
Then maybe it goes up.
No, something else would pop out, something somewhere. I don't know. They call this something, no. I had no idea. Rapunzel. Long name Rapunzel syndrome.
Rapunzel syndrome. Because Rapunzel, let down your long hair.
Or it should
remember?
say Rapunzel. Oh, I remember that
her hair
story.
goes
Yeah.
down.
It's a Brothers Grimm story, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But here's the thing. This ain't Rapunzel, let down your hair. This is Rapunzel, stop eating your hair.
Yeah. Because you got a big old wad of hair in your
There's only
pooper.
been 88 known cases of this medically like recognized.
But they have like they have an official name for it.
Rapunzel syndrome.
Don't eat your hair.
Don't eat your
Just don't.
I love Strawberry Shortcake, by the way. It makes me happy. Mm-hmm. If any of you can ever get your hands on it somewhere from a home grower or a breeder or something, I suggest this strain. It's a very good sativa dominant.
I'm fidgety.
Yeah, it's
like
good.
I can't sit
yeah,
still.
Yeah, like you want to go rebound right now.
Yeah, I need to go do my exercises.
You ready to get the show started?
I'm ready.
Let's do this. I've been talking about on past episodes. I talked about purple weed. I talked about orange hairs. Doing more research to educate people. I'm going to talk about purple, blue, orange, pink weed, the color of the rainbow, and the weed rainbow, right? So, and what do the cannabis colors mean? I explained a little bit about purple weed. I'm going to go through purple weed again, just because there's more information about it. So when you pick up a nug of purple, blue, orange, or even pink cannabis, you might wonder, why does weed come in so many colors? Well, cannabis is various shades of green, many strains featuring striking hues that may look even more appealing. But is there a difference between green weed and purple weed? Do different colors mean different potency, flavors, or effects? In this guide, we'll dive into the science of cannabis colors, what affects them, and whether color really matters when choosing your bud. What causes cannabis to change color? 3 main factors of influence in color cannabis. Plant genetics. Some strains are naturally more colorful than others. Environmental conditions, temperature, light, pH levels can enhance or suppress color. Pigments in the plant. Different compounds given cannabis in unique hues. The most important natural pigments in cannabis include chlorophyll, the green pigment that dominates most plants. Anthocyanins, pigments responsible for purple, blue, and red hues. Carotenoids, pigments that create yellow, orange, and red shades. Let's break it down. 1, 2, 3, break. Green weed, caused by high chlorophyll levels. Common strains, sour diesel, OG Kush, and green crack. Big Earl and I were talking about green crack today. Ugh, it's on his menu. Most cannabis is some shade of green because chlorophyll is primary pigment in plants. Chlorophyll helps with photosynthesis, allowing plants to absorb the light and convert it into energy. Strains that stay bright green typically have high chlorophyll content, meaning they may have been grown in warmer temperatures or harvested early before the pigments can develop. Does green cannabis affect potency? No. Green cannabis is just as potent as any other colors. Potency depends on cannabinoid levels, THC, CBD, and other terpenes rather than color. Purple weed, which we've talked about, caused by anthocyanins, same pigments found in blueberries and grapes. Common strains, Granddaddy Purp, Purple Haze, and Black Domina. There's many other strains, there's just 3. Purple weed is some of the most visually striking cannabis, and many smokers love it for the bold colored sweet flavors. Some strains, deep purple, blue, and violet hues come from anthocyanins, a group of flavonoid pigment found in many plants. How does weed turn purple? Cooler temperatures, below 60 degrees Fahrenheit, encourages the anthocyanin production. Lower chlorophyll levels in late-stage flowering allows the pigments to appear. Does purple weed get you higher? No. Color doesn't affect THC levels. However, anthocyanins may have antioxidants and anti-inflammatory properties, adding potential health benefits. There's blue weed, and I've seen blue.
I've seen a little
Not
bit of
smoked
blue.
it.
Yeah.
Somebody get me some. But have seen it. And seen some beautiful pictures. Caused by anthocyanins, similar to purple cannabis, but at different pH levels. Common strains, Blue Dream, Blueberry Kush, Blue Mystic. Blue cannabis is rarer than purple, but it comes from the same anthocyanins, just at a different pH level. When purple hues appear in more acidic conditions, alkaline pH levels in the plant lead to blue shades. How do you grow blue cannabis? Cold temperatures plus alkaline pH equals more blue pigmentation. Genetics play a huge role. Not all strains can turn blue. Does blue weed have a different high? Not necessarily. However, many blue strains like Blue Dream are known for their relaxing euphoric effects due to the terpene profiles. red and pink weed. Now, I've not had pink weed, but I've seen some beautiful pink colorations on people's buds, pictures people have sent me, and caused by anthocyanins and carotenoids. Common strains are Pink Kush, Panama Red, Red Dragon. While red and pink cannabis is less common, some strains produce rose-tinted trichomes and hairs. These happens when the anthocyanins mix with the carotenoids in the same pigments that can make carrots orange and autumn leaves red. How does weed turn red or pink? Certain strains naturally produce pink pistils, hairs during flowering. UV light exposures can enhance red pigmentation. As plants mature, some strains develop pinkish trichomes. Is pink or red weed stronger? Not necessarily, but many pink or red strains, like Pink Kush, are known for their relaxing, body-heavy effects. Orange and yellow weed, caused by carotenoids, same pigments found in carrots and autumn leaves. Common strains, Tangy, Golden Goat, Orange Bud. Orange and yellow cannabis strains stand out due to their high carotenoid levels, which develop in the chlorophyll breakdown. Why does some weed turn orange or yellow? Warm temperatures, intense light can boost carotenoid production. Genetics play a role, though. Some strains naturally developing orange pistils, hairs. Does orange weed taste different? Yes. Many orange-colored strains, like Tangy, we've been smoking one lately.
Yeah.
The apricoma. Oh, my God.
So sweet.
Oh,
so sweet.
Gosh, that's like right up your alley.
Oh.
You would smoke that if it was in such a nighttime weed. You'd probably smoke that all day.
That's so good.
Heavy citrus, sweet terpene profiles, thanks to the limonene and Mr. Weedman's favorite, myrcene. Does cannabis color affect potency? No. A strain color has nothing to do with THC levels. Instead, potency is determined by genetics. Some strains naturally produce more THC than others. Growing conditions, lights, nutrients, and care affect cannabinoid production. Harvesting time. Late harvest buds often contain more THC. That said, color can indicate different terpene profiles, which affects flavors and effects. Final thoughts. Does color matter when choosing weed? While color doesn't directly impact potency, it can give clues about flavors, growing conditions, and terpene profiles. Don't also forget, too, when it comes to flavor, there's flavorants, flavonoids, and esters, too. The smell, the flavor. There's so much going on in the plant we've talked about on prior episodes. So it's not just terpenes anymore. Flavorants, flavonoids, esters, and they all play a role in this beautiful plant. So whether you love deep purple buds, fiery orange pistils, or bright green nugs, each strain offers a unique experience. Green weed equals fresh, classic cannabis flavor. Purple weed, sweet grape-like terpenes. Blue weed, rare, soothing strains. Pink or red weed, exotic, visually stunning. Orange or yellow weed, citrus-heavy, energetic highs. Next time you pick up colorful weed, you know exactly why it looks the way it does. CBD.
Yeah.
This is now the forgotten cannabinoid for some. For most, it was such a big, it still is to me, has a very good place in my heart. But for some time before, as hemp was just all about CBD, now it's all about THCA coming from hemp, or THC that you're seeing in drinks that you're getting hemp-derived Delta-9 and all the other different cannabinoids that you're getting from the hemp plant. So the CBD still has a lot of place in my heart and a lot of people's hearts that people still use it because they can't use THC.
Right.
But this is good knowledge that CBD has a place for everybody. Okay, we're going to talk more about CBD in a little bit, but CBD could effectively treat common vaginal infections, this study concludes. Tell us about it, Mrs. Weedman.
New published research on cannabidiol, or CBD, suggests that the popular marijuana component could be a promising treatment for a common type of vaginal infection. The report focuses on the bacterium Gardnerella vaginalis, which is found naturally in the vagina, but can also cause vaginosis when out of balance with other microbes. In laboratory tests, CBD demonstrated antibacterial and antioxidant effects that weakened G. vaginalis and eliminated communities of the bacteria known as biofilms. The article was published this month in a special issue of the journal Antibiotics, dedicated to antimicrobial and anti-biofilm activity by natural compounds. It was authored by a four-person team from the Hebrew University of Jerusalem and Hadassah Hebrew University Medical Center, also in Jerusalem, Israel. Importantly, CBD not only prevented biofilm formation of G. vaginalis, but also reduced the metabolic activity and biofilm biomass of preformed mature biofilms. It's a little over my head, authors wrote, adding that the ability of the drug not only to prevent biofilm formation, but also to act on preformed mature biofilms constitutes, this is what's important requirement for the successful treatment of vaginosis caused by the bacterium. G. vaginalis is not the only bacterium that can cause vaginosis, the paper acknowledges, but among 30 tested species, it was found to be the most common and virulent species. The team noted that their research appears to be the first inquiry into CBD's effects on the bacterium. While the findings are promising, the team noted that a chief limitation of the study is that it was an in vitro study, examining the effects of CBD on bacteria in a petri dish, not a living organism. Further studies, their paper says, should focus on the in vivo efficacy of CBD in treating bacterial vaginosis and detecting any possible toxicity in animal models before conducting human clinical trials in the future. The new study adds to a growing body of research indicating that cannabinoids might be useful in antibacterial applications. A report by researchers at universities in India and Thailand looked specifically at how cannabis oil can reduce so-called reactive oxygen species during the healing of wounds. Those chemicals play a crucial role in wound development by causing cell and tissue damage, it explains. Additionally, the antibacterial and analgesic properties of cannabis contribute to reducing the microbial load and minimizing the complications associated with chronic wounds, authors of the study wrote, thereby enhancing the overall healing efficacy. Months earlier, a separate review said that the complex interaction between phytocannabinoids and biological systems offers hope for novel treatment approaches, laying the groundwork for a new era of innovation in cannabis-based medicines. It specifically noted that compounds such as CBG and CBN appear to have antibacterial effects, and said that antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory properties make them valuable candidates for combating antibiotic resistance and modulating inflammatory pathways. So, we'll watch for more to come.
Love it. CBD. People say this weed sucks. And here's why they're wrong. There's no question that many cannabis consumers are shopping by one main metric: potency. From the outside looking in, it makes sense. People want the most bang for their buck and assume the higher THC equals better than. Those of us with the cannabis industry know that potency is not an indicator of quality, but there's a side debate raging on low potency pot, specifically CBD weed. When the CBD craze hit in the mid-2010s, it seemed like everyone was on the bandwagon. Special editions of health-centric magazines highlighting the wonders of CBD oil hit the newsstands across the country. CBD skincare products, coffee, and even pillowcases were everywhere. The hemp floodgates opened even further when the 2018 Farm Bill legalized CBD nationwide. But the excitement soon wore off when it discovered CBD can only be chemically converted into intoxicating compounds like Delta-8 and HHC. Pretty soon, CBD faded into the distance. Many of the brands disappeared, but few remain, including a small number of regulated cannabis beside. Part of this was the hype of Engine leaving the station, with people delusioned by literally snake oil salesmen promising them a whole new you with their bunk hemp drops. But it seems like some of the quality companies and the people who found relief in the product saw the baby thrown out with the bathwater. I soon became one of them. This is the journalist. CBD, where art thou? After years of high THC consumption, something in the journalist's body changed. I could no longer tolerate the dosage of my past. Heart-racing paranoia following nearly every puff, edible, and dab. Not wanting to give up the ritual of smoking pot and sharing it with my friends, but needing something that works for me in 2025. I soon found solace in high CBD weed strains. However, these varieties of weed are not always easy to come by. Cultivators in many mature markets are unmotivated to grow low THC strains since buyers want their most frequent customers will demand. Some folks in these places have never or experienced fire hemp, which is, believe it or not, a thing. To journalists, we know somebody that I think that person smokes 90% of the time is high, like just quality hemp, you know? Where did I leave off? Sorry, everybody. However, these varieties of weed, cultivators aren't really producing that much. This journalist remembers discussing the topic with some people in California, talking about top shelf hemp. Now, the husband had been growing back in the Midwest. They balked at the notion, images of swag conjured in their heads. I quickly showed them some photos from a greenhouse revealing bright green CBD buds dripping with trichomes. I could see their eyes widen. They didn't believe it was real. You showed me some pictures yesterday of some hemp CBD farms with beautiful, beautiful buds, gorgeous buds. But why smoke CBD weed? You don't feel anything. Some may argue. The truth is, there's many reasons. The writer's colleague Carl Weistock once said of CBD, it's not about what you feel, it's what you don't feel. I'll say that again. When you smoke CBD, I've always talked about it from the neck down. There's no euphoric effect from it. There's no head high. It's a calming relaxation. And I've always said you feel CBD from what? The neck down. This is a great line. It's not about what you feel. It's about what you don't feel. And that line is from Kara Weistock, one of the journalists from Green State. Green State, thank you. It's something this journalist has shared in many conversations since, and probable light bulb always seems to go off in the moments after. Anecdotally, CBD fans report the compound helps ease anxiety, pain, restlessness, insomnia, inflammation, and a whole host of other ailments. Dozens of studies have seemingly affirmed these findings. The concept makes sense. And truth be told, some people do feel something when they consume CBD. They always push back when people claim CBD is non-intoxicating. In fact, this journalist wrote in Green State's editorial guide that they never make that claim. CBD does affect your brain chemistry, just like other cannabinoids, nicotine, sugar, enzymes, and cheese, etc. Full-spectrum CBD extracts contain a bit of THC, and for those who are sensitive, the 0.3% may come through. This journalist has a friend who never consumes cannabis, who accidentally took a full-spectrum CBD RSO capsule, mistaking them for her ibuprofen in the middle of the night. That's weird to mistake that. She later told the journalist she definitely caught a buzz, and her husband noticed her demeanor was a bit off. The full-spectrum oil within was likely the culprit. A year ago, the journalist smoked a CBD joint. Upon returning inside, she said, I could tell something felt different, assuming the terpenes were contributed to the perceived buzz. Whatever caused the perceived effects, it was likely the entourage effect of all joints compounds working together. So yes, CBD can be psychoactive. And I've talked about this too. We've talked about this. If you take too much of your body, your cannabinoid system, you will feel the psychoactive euphoric effects. When this journalist envisions the dream dispensary, mine too, I have a dream dispensary, and it has something for every type of consumer, whether they need high potency or low. Quality products should be waiting. This journalist dreams of the day when top-shelf CBD weed strains sit alongside the 30-plus percenters. And this journalist knows she's not alone. So for all the folks who like to generalize and say CBD weed sucks, simply reply, there's something for everyone. Don't yuck my yum. Don't yuck my yum. Okay, so when medical first hit Illinois, when I first got my medical card in 2017 or 2018, I can't remember, you can find a ton of CBD THC ratio strains. Now, I wouldn't say a ton, but there was a lot. There was a good handful, let's say about 10, 15 different strains you'd be able to find that had higher CBD ratios, lower CBD ratios, and they were all really good. And I smoked that a lot during the day because I didn't want to be too heady. And I needed it because I had a lot of back pain at the time, and I didn't want to be heady during the day because I still had to work. But it took the back pain, like the journalist said, you're not supposed to feel the head. It's all from the body down, right? So you enjoy taking CBD. You take tincture, a ratio, right? The ratio is 2,000 milligrams of CBD to 100 milligrams of THC. What is the bomb? Or not the tincture, what's it called? Is it the mint one?
Dickens.
Dickens.
Yeah.
You met that crazy cat.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one.
It is a good one. Also, his bomb is really good too. If you're in Illinois here, and he's a funny homie. So, But yeah, you like that ratio, and
nice.
you take a higher dose during the day when you need it, right? If you have any aches, pains, or anything like that, concentration, whatever you need it for.
And I just do it to keep my endocannabinoid system balanced.
There you go.
Just to keep it active.
Yeah, look at you. Phew. You just gotta wipe it off. Wipe it off.
Keeping the inflammation down.
At all times.
Keeping the anxiety down.
Oh, shit. Try it, folks. Like I said, some of you out there that don't want heavy doses of THC, there is strains out there you can find. And there's some people, I think we're going to get better. I think the foolishness of just keep on producing one thing is not going to be too much longer here. I think there's going to be a lot of newbies that we fuck up as a community by thinking they can hang. I'll give you a perfect example. We have a friend that came over the house one night, was boozing, liked to drink, and then was not a big smoker, wanted to smoke. I'm like, you've been boozing a little bit, I can handle it. That person slept on our hammock.
I'm just going to go over there and lay down for a minute.
And that person told us it was the best sleep.
Yeah,
he woke up at like 6 a.m. and left.
Went home.
Great. But
yeah,
wasn't used to a higher 22%.
Right.
Probably could have used like an 8% or a 7% or
especially
a CB.
And hadn't smoked in a long enough time that having that high THC after having a few beers was just too much.
And I warned him, like, don't take more than one hit.
Yeah.
I can handle it. Every tough guy has his day when you sleep on my hammock.
It wasn't the first or the last.
Not at all. What are you going to do? Just go take a nap. I don't care. I'll wake you up in the morning, or you wake up and have some breakfast with us or coffee. I don't give a fuck.
When the curtains are open, we're open for business.
Coffee's ready. So yes, CBD is very helpful for people that are just introducing their bodies to flower. So, mix it up a little bit. Variety is the spice of life. Breakthrough cannabis therapy could relieve global threat. Tell us about it, Mrs. Weedman.
Yep. Bacteria resistant to treatment is a global health threat. Superbugs spread quickly in medical settings and are difficult to treat. The bacteria proliferate contagious diseases like staph infection that adapt to medicines, forcing doctors to be constantly seeking new options, like cannabis. Antimicrobial properties are always present in lists of potential cannabis effects, but few have explored this potential until now. Andira Pharmaceuticals, a cannabinoid-focused biopharmaceutical company, recently announced the arrival of a topical medication combining the power of marijuana with silver, the current go-to treatment. Silvanex utilizes silver in a 3-part formulation alongside CBC and CBG. The topical product is designed to be used in wound care products, medical catheters, textiles, and consumer health products to reduce infections. Silvanex is a game changer for modern infection control, Andira President and CEO Dr. Dana Lambert said in a press release. Its dual action capabilities position it as a broad-spectrum preventative agent, offering much-needed protection against all types of dangerous AMR infections. A 2019 report indicated that antimicrobial-resistant infections could be responsible for 10 million deaths by 2050. These superbugs spread most commonly through surgical site infections, with an infection rate as high as 1 in 4 patients for certain surgeries. The company is confident that their combination of silver and cannabinoids is 800% more effective than conventional pharmaceutical technologies. The company is developing multiple treatments with this breakthrough. These developments mark a new realm for cannabis pharmaceuticals and treatment for antimicrobial infections. Cannabis research continues to develop a mosaic of understanding around its therapeutic possibilities. Silvanex is not only a breakthrough for doctors treating infections, but it also serves as a reminder that there is a treasure trove of things to learn about marijuana.
A treasure trove. I love it.
I wonder, like colloidal silver.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I wonder if that's what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Because next thing you know, we're going to have a whole population of blue people because people are going to... Colloidal silver is a therapeutic. It's a natural medicine. It's just it's silver. It's whatever it is.
But you can actually take too much, right?
It's not overdose in the sense that you die from it, but your body doesn't digest it, so it has to be taken in very prescribed doses. And if you over consume it, you can turn blue. There is a blue man right now that's alive, and he talks about he's on shows sometimes.
The only thing I know about using colloidal silver for is for breeders of getting female plants, feminized plants.
Oh,
Use
really?
colloidal silver. Yeah.
Well, in the health and wellness world,
yeah, I know
it's a supplement.
Yeah, it's like.
And I don't take it.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to. Turn blue.
I don't like the thought of anything being put in my body that I'm knowingly not going to process and digest.
Right. Yeah, kind of like mercury.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't digest that either.
Lead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof.
Nope.
No
Thanks.
bueno. Cannabis use in older patients associated with improved quality of life, lower demand for prescription drugs. The two fastest growing segments in the cannabis industry is 55 and above and Gen Z women. Telling you.
Pretty cool.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
The use of medical cannabis products by qualified patients ages 50 and older is associated with reduced need for prescription medications and significant health-related quality of life improvements, according to data published in the scientific journal Cannabis. Canadian investors assessed medical cannabis use patterns and its effects on health outcomes in a cohort of 200 older patients, average age 67. Study participants primarily suffered from chronic pain-related conditions. Patients' health data was collected as baseline and again at 3 months and 6 months. Most patients in the study consumed orally administered cannabis products containing significant percentages of CBD. Researchers reported most patients experienced clinically significant improvements in pain, sleep, and quality of life, and reductions in co-medications, including pain medications, antidepressants, and sleep aids. No serious adverse effects were reported. Yay. Us 50 and up, baby.
Whoop,
taking it. To the best of the knowledge, the present report describes one of the largest longitudinal study of authorized older medical cannabis patients to date. The study authors conclude the results of the multi-site prospective study of medical cannabis patients ages 50 years and older indicate that cannabis may be relatively safe and effective treatment for chronic pain, sleep disturbances, and other conditions associated with aging, leading to subsequent reduction in prescription drug use and healthcare costs, as well as significant improvements in quality of life. I love that part. Quality of life. When you hear the word cannabis equals quality of life. The findings are constant with those equal several of the studies similarly reporting quality of life improvements and reduced prescription drugs among older cannabis consumers. Commenting on the latest study, Deputy Director Paul Armentano from NORML, there is a growing body of evidence showing that cannabis can provide health-related quality of life improvements in older adults. Many older adults struggle with pain, anxiety, restless sleep, and other conditions for which cannabis products often mitigate. Many older adults are also well aware of the litany of serious adverse side effects associated with available prescription drugs like opioids or sleep aids, and they recognize the role medical cannabis can play as a potential safer alternative. The self-reported use of cannabis by older adults or seniors has grown significantly in recent years. The percentage of all U.S. adults ages 65 and over who reported using cannabis within the past year has doubled in recent years to 4.2%. An increasing percentage of older adults are turning to the use of cannabis exclusively for therapeutic process. Nearly 20% of those U.S. adults ages 50 and older who report consuming cannabis within the past year define the use as medicinal. I would definitely, there's a lot of the reason why I use it, right? You too? An increasing body of scientific data shows that the use of cannabis by older adults is associated with improvements in the overall quality of life. We collected surveys from individuals aged 60 and older enrolled in Illinois Medical Cannabis Patient Program. Veterans were more likely to use cannabis for mental health conditions. Veterans also reported desirable health outcomes of cannabis use for pain, sleep quality, health conditions, and quality of life. All veterans should be able to get free cannabis. Just my opinion. Just there should be a program. Cannabis use by older subjects is associated with the greater rates of physical activity. Data was obtained from 25 to 26 National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey. A total of 2,092 patients ages 28 through 59, 48.8% female, had accelerometer measured sedentary behavior, light physical activity, and moderate to vigorous physical activity. Participants were classified as light, moderate, frequent, or non-current cannabis users, depending on how often they used cannabis in the previous 30 days. Frequent cannabis users engaged in more physical activity than non-current users. Findings tend to be stronger among adults 40 and those who did not smoke cigarettes. The findings do not support the mainstream perception of cannabis users as a living sedentary lifestyles. Yeah, I mean, it's great. 50 and up. All right. Yep. This is a big one.
Yeah.
Especially for the cannabis users that have been using weed and smoking weed for a very long time. I know somebody that just doesn't get high anymore. And that person still smokes constantly and just doesn't get high. I'm like, have you ever get high? He goes, I just don't really know anymore if I'm high or not anymore.
It's just always high.
I'm with this person a lot.
Yeah.
From the time this person drops his children off at school, gets back home, till I think the time he's in bed, I don't think he's never not smoking. That's
how he rolls.
That's how he rolls. But that's his medicine. It keeps him straight and narrow at all times, you know? So, but there is a point where your tolerance, there's some signs, right? Well, is there some fixes too to those signs?
Yep.
Tell us about it, Miss Weedman.
Cannabis tolerance refers to the body's ability to adapt to regular cannabis consumption, leading to a diminished effect over time. This happens when the endocannabinoid system becomes less responsive to THC, the psychoactive compound in cannabis. The human brain contains CB1 receptors, which THC binds to, producing effects like euphoria, relaxation, and altered perception. However, with frequent use, these receptors start to down-regulate, meaning they become less sensitive to THC. As a result, users may find that they need to consume larger amounts of cannabis to achieve the same effects they once experienced with a smaller dose. Tolerance develops due to repeated exposure to THC, leading to neuroadaptations in the endocannabinoid system. Several factors influence how quickly tolerance builds up, including frequency of use. Daily cannabis users are more likely to develop tolerance compared to occasional users. Dosage. Consuming high doses of THC accelerates tolerance development. Consumption method. Inhalation, like smoking and vaping, that delivers THC more rapidly than edibles, leading to a quicker buildup of tolerance. Individual biology, genetics, metabolism, and body composition affect how quickly someone develops a tolerance. Now that we understand how cannabis tolerance forms, let's explore the signs that indicate that your tolerance might be too high. Here are 5 signs that your tolerance is too high. 1. You need more cannabis to feel the same effects. One of the most obvious signs of increased tolerance is that your usual dose no longer provides the same level of euphoria, relaxation, or pain relief. If you used to feel the desired effects after a single joint, but now need 2 or 3 to achieve the same sensation, your body has built up a tolerance. 2. The high feels short-lived. Another telltale sign of high tolerance is that the effects wear off much faster than before. Initially, a cannabis high might last for several hours, but over time you may find that it dissipates quickly, sometimes within 30 to 45 minutes.
I'm noticing 2.
Yeah.
Number 2 for me.
2?
Yeah.
This rapid fade can lead users to consume more frequently, reinforcing the tolerance cycle. 3. You no longer experience the euphoric high. Cannabis has a range of effects, including euphoria, creativity, and deep relaxation. However, some of these pleasurable sensations may diminish when tolerance builds up. Instead of feeling uplifted and happy, you might only experience mild relaxation, or in some cases, no noticeable effects at all. This phenomenon occurs because THC's impact on CB1 receptors weakens over time, making it harder for users to achieve the same cerebral high that they once enjoyed. 4. You rely on stronger strains or concentrates. If you've transitioned from regular cannabis flower to high-potency strains, concentrates, or dabs just to feel something, your tolerance is likely too high. While experimenting with more potent products can be enjoyable for some users, relying on them solely because regular cannabis no longer works is a sign that your body has adapted to THC. This may also increase your risk of experiencing side effects like paranoia, anxiety, or dependency. 5. You experience withdrawal symptoms when taking a break. When cannabis tolerance becomes excessive, stopping or cutting back may result in mild withdrawal symptoms, including irritability, insomnia, loss of appetite, mood swings, restlessness. These symptoms typically appear within 24 to 48 hours after stopping cannabis and can last up to 2 weeks depending on the individual. If you struggle to take a break without experiencing discomfort, it might be time to reset your tolerance. So now let's talk about how you can lower your tolerance. If you've identified with any of these signs we just talked about, don't worry. Tolerance isn't permanent. The good news is that your body can reset itself with a few adjustments. Woo! That's a big win.
Yep.
So take a tolerance break or a tea break. A tolerance break or tea break is the most effective way to lower your cannabis tolerance. By abstaining from THC for a certain period, your CB1 receptors have time to recover and regain their sensitivity. A 3-day break can make a noticeable difference for light users. A 7-day break is ideal for moderate users, and a 2 to 4 week break is best for heavy users to reset their tolerance fully. You could microdose instead of consuming large amounts. Microdosing involves taking small amounts of cannabis to experience mild effects without overwhelming the endocannabinoid system. This method helps maintain a balance between using cannabis and preventing tolerance buildup. You can switch up your consumption method. Different methods of consumption affect tolerance differently. If you've been smoking daily, try switching to edibles, tinctures, or vaping at lower temperatures. This can change how THC interacts with your body and may help manage tolerance levels. And you could opt for strains with more CBD and less THC. CBD, or cannabidiol, does not contribute to THC tolerance buildup. Using strains that have balanced THC to CBD ratio can help reduce overall THC exposure while still providing therapeutic effects. And stay hydrated and exercise. THC is stored in fat cells, so regular exercise and hydration can help flush excess cannabinoids from your system. Activities like cardio, yoga, and sauna sessions help support your body's natural detoxification process. Cannabis tolerance is a natural process that occurs with consistent use. If you notice that you need more to feel the same effects, it might be time for a reset. The good news is that by taking simple steps like a tolerance break, microdosing, or switching to a lower THC strain, you can regain your sensitivity to THC and enhance your overall cannabis experience. By staying mindful of your consumption habits, you'll not only save money, but you'll also enjoy cannabis in a more balanced and effective way.
I think that was a phenomenal article.
It is. Yeah.
We've talked about TB breaks and all that kind of stuff, but that put it plain and simple in one format. Do you feel your tolerance has gone up increasingly? And you have a high tolerance for everything. So I mean, have you? I know we smoke a full joint together, but do you feel you can smoke more than one joint or a whole joint by yourself, or do you feel like it doesn't last as long?
No, because I still feel like I can get too high, and it doesn't take 2 or 3 joints for that to happen.
Right.
If I smoked a whole joint, I'd probably be more high than I want to be. But yes, it would last less. But I also noticed too, I feel like I don't feel as much of the euphoria. I don't feel as much of the head high. I have to stop and think about it sometimes. So yeah, I think it has diminished. My tolerance has gone up and diminished some of the benefits that you like.
Right. The feeling of the
of
euphoria,
baked.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh man, I Usually I take like a 1-day smoke break. I'll still eat an edible, but taking a week off and just doing edibles and tinctures for a week probably might be a good way just to.
And I scaled back because I was really I had really increased my intake because I was just dealing with so much joint pain, and that has not been as consistent or intense. So I've scaled back, and I've really even scaled back some of my CBD use. I'm not dosing all day long. So I think that's helping my tolerance from over increase. I still can't do a 50 milligram edible.
No,
I wouldn't even take a different 20.
Yeah,
I'm comfortable at a 15 probably now.
Yeah. We used to be a 5-er.
Yeah. But I still feel a certain 5 edibles. I can feel just a little bit.
Yeah, you're not getting the full.
You kind of forget about it, and then you're like, oh, that's why I feel like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I do on a Monday night, I might not smoke at all. I'll just do an edible sometimes here and there, just to give the lungs a break. But I could probably. It's been a while since I took a week off.
Yeah.
It's been a very long time. I don't even think I've ever done a week off in the last 10 years.
No.
Even during COVID.
But I think because we don't smoke 24 hours a day.
Yeah. I'm an evening smoker.
Yeah.
I don't, unless it's a weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm off work, then I'll smoke during the day. But usually Monday through Friday, it's usually 6 o'clock is when I usually start smoking, after work and my day's done. So yeah, I don't know how my tolerance, I still can't take a 20 milligram edible, but smoking wise, I can probably smoke a half a joint or even almost a full joint now, and a gram or half gram. A half gram by myself easily now, and but the high I'm finding doesn't last quite as long. It's probably an hour. It used to be 3 hours where I felt great.
Yeah.
Now
that peak, the good feeling.
Right.
You're still stoned, and your body's still real. You're feeling the effects of the weed, but not the intense effects.
Yes.
That's very short.
Yeah, that's short lived. But yeah, I'm still even keeled high, but I'm not high. Right. there's levels. There's I'm there. There's high, and there's I'm really baked.
I can't see so good.
Yeah, that's your line. Oh man, political, state, and business news. Thanks for the education, by the way, too, on that. I think that teaches a lot of people about tolerance and stuff. I think we don't talk about it enough, because a lot of people are just getting into it going, what the fuck do I need a tolerance break for? Right. So thanks for the education. Political, state, and business news. Complete failure. I've had this article for about a week and a half now. I missed it on the last show. I didn't have time to add it. I could add it to the show. So California pot industry hits another grim milestone. The largest market in the country just can't get their act together. California's legal cannabis industry is facing significant challenges with the number of inactive and surrendered licenses now exceeding active ones. As of February 2025, there are 10,828 inactive or surrendered cannabis licenses compared to 8,514 active ones, marking a troubling trend 7 years after legalization. Industry experts attribute this decline to several factors. Regulatory challenges. The complex and costly regulatory framework has made it difficult for many businesses to remain operational. That's California as a whole. They're just businesses in general.
They have how many licenses for dispensaries?
I think overall businesses.
Okay.
Competition from illicit market. Unlicensed cannabis operators continue to undercut legal businesses by offering products at lower prices, exaggerating the struggles of licensed operators.
That's a tough word.
That is a tough word.
I'm not going to try it.
It's okay. I think it's
exasperating.
Exasperating. Thank you. I had to sound it out. Exactly. But listen, you also forget that there's home grow too in California. Taxes are stupid, and people are just going to get frustrated after a while. And especially if weed is not what it once was, too, prices and all that shit. Just you go find it where it's better. Or you just go to the farmers markets and find people. You go to your friends who grow. I mean, it's not that hard. And here's the biggest thing: high taxes and fees, upcoming tax increases. Just why? Why? When is it enough? and potential hikes in licensing fees. When is it enough? Are expected to further strain businesses, potentially driving them out of legal market and back into the illicit sector. I don't fuck you in your illicit. Traditional market. There's black market, which we know, totally like garbage, pesticides, mold. It don't matter. That's black market bullshit. Traditional market is the legacy people, the G's, the OGs. And when I mean OG, I mean ocean grown. These challenges have led to widespread closures and consolidations within the industry, raising concerns about the future viability of California's legal cannabis market. Top health lawyer thinks marijuana is dangerous and genetically engineered hard drug. President Donald Trump has nominated Mike Stewart, a former U.S. attorney and current West Virginia senator, to serve the general counsel of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Stewart has expressed strong opposition to cannabis, referring to it as a dangerous and genetically engineered hard drug. That hard plant that was given to us by and has angels in their leaves. Hard drug. It's made chemically, and I mean, come on now. What does this do? It gets worse. He has also labeled marijuana a gateway drug. That leads to
let's
increase.
Go back to the 80s.
Let's go back to reefer madness all over again. That leads to increased opioid misuse and has pledged to aggressively enforce its criminalization.
Does he ever read any information?
No, absolutely not.
He just forms his own opinion.
Ready? Yeah. Well, old news. Outdated news.
Yeah.
During his tenure as a federal prosecutor,
like
Stewart supported the recession of the Cole Memo. We have a friend, Cole, and he has a show called the Cole Memo. Sorry, Cole.
And he's out there.
Sorry, Cole. This dude is this Stewart is trying to take away the Cole Memo. We will never take away the Cole Memo.
That's right.
Which had previously provided guidance on a federal cannabis enforcement. He emphasized that federal law regarding marijuana is crystal clear and criticized the Obama-era guidance. Stewart's role would involve providing legal advice, interpreting regulatory policies, and overseeing litigation for HHS. Great. Tim and Kennedy, who was supposed to be for cannabis. His stance on cannabis could influence a future agency interpretations of the Controlled Substance Act's requirements concerning marijuana scheduling status. This nomination has drawn criticism from cannabis advocates who are concerned about the potential impact of federal cannabis policy. Stewart's appointment underscores the ongoing debate over cannabis legalization and regulation in the United States. We are going backwards, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls, and these, thems, and don'ts. I'm telling you, we are going backwards in this industry. I said this many years ago. It is still federally illegal. They can shut this shit down anytime they want. And people are like, no, they can't. Yes, they can. They are threatening mayors and governors, taking away funding. They can do whatever the fuck they want. And if they want to shut this shit down,
they will.
They will. Whether you want to believe that or not. So you better think quick here. I don't know if they're going to. I'm just saying from what I'm reading the last 4 weeks, things are changing in the wrong direction. Wrong way. As Kendrick Lamar said, wrong way.
Tell me about it.
North Dakota lawmakers approved bill to expand marijuana decriminalization, making low-level possessions a $150 citation. You're legal, medical. The bill removes the criminal penalty of possessing up to 500 grams of marijuana for 4 grams of THC, replacing it with a citation of $150. It also allows individuals convicted of a first offense for possessing up to 500 grams of marijuana or 4 grams of THC to have their records sealed, provided they have no similar violations within 2 years. Additionally, the bill reclassifies most marijuana paraphernalia possessions as a non-criminal citation. Oh my God. Where am I?
I needed to smoke more after hearing your stories.
This legal legislation aims to reduce the criminal penalties associated with minor marijuana offenses in North Dakota. Wisconsin governor puts marijuana legalization in budget request, along with provisions to regulate hemp-derived THC. Something positive, Wisconsin. Wisconsin governor Tony Evers has included the proposal of legalized adult-use marijuana in his biennial budget request. Biennial? Oh, man, I fucked up that word. Biennial? Biennial. Biennial?
Biennial.
Biennial. That's what I said. One time out of the 6 times. I did say it, right? Sound it out. The proposal also aims to regulate hemp-derived cannabinoids such as Delta-8 and 10, ensuring that production, processing, and sales are controlled and restricted to individuals over 21. This initiative reflects the governor's ongoing efforts to reform cannabis laws in Wisconsin, building on previous attempts to legalize both medical and recreational marijuana. However, past proposals have faced challenges in the Republican-controlled legislature, which has consistently removed marijuana-related provisions from the governor's budget request. The outcome of this proposal will depend on the legislative process and the willingness to lawmakers to address cannabis policy reform in the upcoming session. Mrs. Weedman handed me a joint, and my mouth is watering because I want to smoke it. So, and I was reading, and my mouth is literally watering. Smoke break.
Smoke break. Water break for me.
There you go.
That's it.
That's it. Just one. I got a lot more reading.
All right.
Smoke break, everybody. Thank you, Mrs. Weedman, for looking out.
Always.
7 in 10 Pennsylvania voters, including a majority of Republicans, support marijuana legalization, new polls find. Great. Legalize that shit. And I know the governor wants it legalized too. So, U.S. Congressman bill would provide veterans access to cannabis from VA doctors. A U.S. Representative Brian Mast, Republican of Florida, has introduced the Veterans Equal Access Act, aiming to empower Department of Veteran Affairs healthcare providers to recommend medical cannabis to veterans. The legislation seeks to address the challenges veterans face in accessing cannabis treatment for conditions like post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, neuropathic pain, and depression. Currently, while VA doctors can discuss cannabis with their patients, they are prohibited from recommending it, leading many veterans to conceal their use to avoid potential repercussions. Mast bill would allow VA physicians to provide recommendations enabling veterans to access medical cannabis through state licensed dispensaries. However, VA doctors would not dispense the cannabis themselves. This initiative reflects a growing recognition of the therapeutic potential of cannabis for veterans and aims to integrate it into the healthcare options. The bill reintroduction underscores the ongoing efforts to reform federal policies regarding cannabis use among veterans. We in the United States here have a facility in Mississippi that's owned by the federal government. Oh, I don't know if all of you know that, but it has been around since the 60s or 70s, I believe. And it grows pretty good weed, I heard, because there's patients. I watched an interview of a guy who was one of the first 13 patients to he gets a jar of 250 joints a month.
Jeez.
Rolled joints. You're telling me that we can't use that facility to give every one of our veterans from the VA hospital a prescription from that Mississippi G13, baby, where it was like basically created and escaped and it got out into the wild. But you can give them the medicine that we as taxpayers pay for that facility. I say give that weed to our veterans across this great country of ours. Why not? It's our tax dollars. We should have a say. Free weed for everybody. Oh, here's a state I've been to and I admire it. It's a beautiful state, but their cannabis laws are garbage. You ready? Idaho. To stoners, stay out. Stay out, you long-haired hippie freaks.
Come on.
That's basically what they're
Serious.
saying. Yeah, don't you remember the song from Tesla? Signs, signs, everywhere, signs. Yeah. Idaho lawmakers have passed House Bill 7 establishing a mandatory $300 fine for simple cannabis possession, the highest minimum possession fine in the nation. Possessions are over 3 ounces of cannabis will be classified as a felony, potentially leading up to 5 years in prison and fines up to 10 G's. The bill language includes marijuana, all parts of the plants of the genus cannabis, and extracts or preparation of cannabis which contains THC, but it remains unclear whether it encompasses hemp-derived THC, THC products, or CBD oils. The legislation aims to deter both residents and out-of-state visitors from possessing cannabis in Idaho. Beautiful state. Got your fucking shit all out of whack, though.
Backwards.
Michigan municipalities getting nearly $100 million from the marijuana tax. Now, remember, everybody, last episode I said
You got all fired
Governor
up.
Whitmer wants to raise the taxes to 32%. Listen, your state overall just did $331 million in 2024 from the state's marijuana regulation fund. $331 million. They're giving $58,000 for each municipality which receive for each licensed retail store. So if you have 10 stores, you get this much. $580,000. They're giving $100 million. mad about that at all, because it's going to be used for distribution for schools and roads and making your townships. That's where the money should go. 100%. Schools, help your veterans out, homeless people. Maybe use it for roads and.
But will it get put there?
Right, but here's the thing. The money also includes first-time
a lot of money.
Distribution to 4 federal recognized tribes, too, are getting some of that money.
That's good.
Okay? I was looking at, there's a list of all 302 Michigan municipalities that are getting and how much they're getting. You can look it up if you're in Michigan. Okay? Governor, you don't need any more money. All you're going to do is wreck the industry. Governor Whitmer, listen up. Don't fuck it up. You did over $3 billion in sales. You earned 10% of that, $331 million. You don't need any more money from the cannabis community. You are getting enough from us. All of you. Illinois, you're getting way too much.
Mm-hmm. And then misspending it.
Right. You give it to police, which, listen, hey, they get their taxpayer dollars from the other stuff. That should be used for mentally ill, PTSD, veterans, free weed for under people that can't afford it, programs to help in schools,
the communities that were all fucked up because of the war on drugs.
The war on drugs. Oh my gosh,
the families that
and we're giving it to state troopers on how to learn to detect the smell of weed in someone's car.
Yeah,
I'm telling you right now, Michigan. If I was if I was a voter in Michigan, I'd be up someone's fucking rear end. Beating some butt. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. You don't need any more money. Taxes for cannabis shouldn't be over 10%. Shouldn't be over 10%. Medical shouldn't be over 2%. You have to pay tax. I'm not arguing with that at all. Stop using cannabis as your bankroll. It's fucking making me very angry. I hate it. I hate more than anything that the governments get to use this plant. When they crucified us and crucified the communities in the underground for so long. This is absolutely horseshit. That we had to go and poor communities had to hide their usage, got arrested, got beat up by cops just for smoking a plant, and now you're using it for your bankroll. Oh man. It's like the veins on the side of my head popping out yet. I just feel them. It just angers me so much. You don't need any more. It just, folks out there, listen to me when I tell you this. They're going to tax the shit out of you because it's the only thing in their states making money right now. And bringing in, there's no other industry that's being taxed this bad. Mm-hmm. None.
Not even casinos, right?
No. And casinos get taxed pretty bad. Cigarettes get taxed really bad.
The lottery isn't even taxed.
Right. Your government's. We could see it in the federal government right now, how much waste and spending goes on. Okay? Whether you believe it or not, I don't care. I'm telling you, in the states, they're wasting that money on stupid shit. And some of it, it's going to good shit. But I'm telling you right now, you don't need to make this your bankroll. I digress. New Hampshire House bill passes bills to let patients grow medical marijuana at home. And annual past cannabis convictions. Good for you, New Hampshire. Home cultivation for medical marijuana patients. The bill permits registered medical marijuana patients to cultivate their own cannabis at home. Provides greater access and autonomy over their treatment. Annulment of past cannabis convictions. The legislation allows individuals with prior convictions for simple marijuana possessions to have their records annulled. This applies to offenses involving up to 2 ounces of cannabis or 5 grams of hashish, or any amount of legal for adults 21 and older under no current New Hampshire law. These measures reflect a growing trend towards cannabis reform, aiming to enhance patients' access to the address past legal injustices. Kentucky medical cannabis program hasn't sold a single fucking thing yet, but still brought in $27.5 million. And here's where the money will go. They brought in $27 million from the 4,998 applications that were submitted. And it was about $27.5 million, according to the Cabinet of Health and Family Services that's running the medical cannabis program. $4,998 equates to $27.5 million that you will never get back. No other industry does this. None. Not even to get a fucking liquor license. You don't get your ass taxed. And we do. We take it. We've just bent over. Just bending over. It's just ridiculous. It's so bad. Oh my gosh. $27 million, according to the Cabinet for Health and Family Services that's running the medical cannabis program in the CHFS state. The funds will go towards staffing and IT systems. It would be more than enough to initially set up any capital outlays. $27.5 million is enough for just implementing some computer system. You need 27 and staffing. I think an investigation needs to get involved right now. I think you need Doge right now, looking at where that money's going to go. Oh my gosh. Y'all done need some preparation H or something after that one? Is it legal to smoke a joint while ice fishing in Minnesota? Inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah.
Interesting, right? In Minnesota, smoking or vaporizing cannabis is legal in many public outdoor spaces, but with certain restrictions. Local ordinances dictate whether public cannabis use is allowed, meaning cities or communities can ban it. If no local law prohibits it, it's generally legal to smoke on public land, like a lake. However, smoking near children is illegal in federal lands. Just remember, you can't smoke on federal lands. Such as national parks remain off limits due to the cannabis being federally illegal. The Minnesota DNR initially sought to regulate state parks, but it hasn't been a significant issue so far.
And if you're ice fishing, you should be able to see your breath, right?
Yeah.
So would they know that you were smoking?
The smell.
Say it came from a skunk.
A dead fish.
Dead fish over there. Look over there. And run.
As you slip on the ice while you're trying
Fall
to
in the hole. Frozen.
Senator John Fetterman circulates petition to legalize marijuana at the federal level. Why didn't you do it like the few years prior? Why did you wait till now? Senator John Fetterman has launched a petition to federally legalize marijuana, emphasizing its potential for revenue, jobs, and criminal justice reform. The petition aims to highlight widespread public support for legalization. Fetterman, a longtime advocate for cannabis reform, believes it will benefit farmers, veterans, and small businesses. He also calls for expunging marijuana-related criminal records. While his Senate activity on cannabis has been limited to supporting bills, this petition reflects his continued commitment to the cause. Yeah, but you should have did it you had time.
Okay, but he didn't.
He's doing it now.
He's doing it now?
Right.
Let's hope he's
somewhat successful. He's a big man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wears
some power.
I like him because he doesn't play the norm. He wears hoodies and fucking in gym shorts to the fucking state capitol.
Oh yeah.
Instead of wearing suits.
Oh, I saw that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a big dude. He don't take no shit.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see how this it's just a petition.
And he was like a fireman, right?
I don't remember, but yeah, I think he beat out Dr. Oz. I know that.
Yeah.
That's what I like about it. He was a way underdog, and he came up and
just
like won.
A regular person, not a politician.
Yeah.
You're
Weed
right.
prices.
Yeah.
Do they get you stressed? Well, you don't have to worry about it.
I don't know. Do they stress you out?
No, because I grow it. So it doesn't stress me out at all unless my plant fucks up or something.
Right.
But I don't get stressed out. Plus, I have good friends, too. Really, really good friends out there. I have five.
Sharing.
Yeah. Really good friends out there that really love giving Mr. Weedman weed. And that's Big Earl, Igneous, the Midwest Terps, Ralph Wiley, and God rest his soul in peace and power, 3 Trees. You know, those 5 right there are like the go-to. I see them often. I search out their phenos, and I just, there's other people I've given us strains, but I don't see them all the time,
right.
And I appreciate all the free weed we've gotten for people to smoke on the show. Thank you so much. But those are my 5 guys. Man, I see them at events. Earl I do the show with. These and their weed is absolutely fucking out of this world. So. And there's plenty more for me out there to smoke. There's plenty more home growers to give me weed and you weed and for us to smoke on the show. There's plenty of people out there I can't wait to smoke their weed. But tell us about weed prices and how to get the most for your money besides getting free weed.
Yeah. Let's face it. Sometimes what we have, oh my Lord, I got to start over. I'm really baked. Did you see me take my glasses off like 3 times and rub my eyes? I still can't see. Let's face it. Sometimes we have what we need, and sometimes we don't. During times of financial strain, we make adjustments, canceling streaming subscriptions, cutting back on snacks, driving a little further to find better deals, or opting for cheaper alternatives to the products we would consume the most. But should we also be cutting back on our cannabis consumption? In the current U.S. economic climate, many Americans are asking, how much of the budget goes to cannabis, and what's the best way to manage it during challenging times? Even though cannabis prices in legal markets are generally becoming more affordable, many Americans are still feeling the impact of inflation. So it's important to be strategic about how we acquire and manage our cannabis, says Dr. Giulietta Sabatini, a physician specializing in cannabis and mental health. It's important to recognize that everyone's situation is unique, so we'll offer general advice knowing individual circumstances will always vary. There are as many ways to consume cannabis as there are users, she said. Some people need it as medicine every 6 hours, while others use it recreationally once a week or month, says Sabatini. One cost-effective strategy for those in states where it's legal is home cultivation. Not only does it offer economic benefits and independence, but it also allows for control over the levels of THC and CBD in your product without relying solely on lab tests. There's also some practical tips for making your cannabis last longer and improving consumption habits. For instance, avoiding mixing weed with other substances just to make it stretch further, especially with tobacco, which can increase nicotine dependency. This is a common practice in Europe, but one I'd recommend avoiding, says Nicholas Rodriguez, a journalist and cannabis expert. Rodriguez also suggests avoiding smoking first thing in the morning. I recommend starting to smoke later in the day rather than first thing in the morning. It can help reduce overall consumption. Personally, I like to smoke after a meal and a shower. The experience is much more enjoyable when you take your time and savor it. Sabatini also recommends doing a 2-week detox. This helps resensitize the body's receptors, so when you reintroduce THC, the effects are stronger, even with a lower dose, she explains. To reduce THC consumption while managing anxiety, many experts recommend using CBD as an alternative. Microdosing and rotating strains can also help conserve your stash. If you're a frequent user, keep your doses and frequency low to prevent building a tolerance so you don't need to consume more for the same effect, advises Sabatini. Sabatini also emphasizes that if you're using cannabis constantly to feel better but don't have a medical diagnosis or professional guidance, you might be masking symptoms rather than addressing them. In such cases, consulting a healthcare professional is the best course of action. Additionally, she points out that buying from local producers and cooperatives, as well as hunting for the best dispensary deals, can often be a cost-effective way to access cannabis. Many dispensaries often offer loyalty programs, bulk buying discounts, and special promotions that can make legal cannabis more affordable. And here's another tip. If you're growing at home, don't throw away all of the small trimmings from your plants. These can be used for making edibles and other cannabis products. As the saying goes, every little bit counts when times are tough.
Yep. I will tell you this, though. Find yourself a good home grower in your neighborhood, caregiver grower. Nothing wrong with dispensary weed, but sometimes you might not have enough money for a $50 eighth with tax, and sometimes more, depending on what state you're in. But find yourself a good home grower. I've tried so much great home grow and caregiver grow in doing this show the last 6 years. It'll be 6 years, and met so many people at events and have smoked some fire home grow, caregiver grow, and I can't name everybody. I apologize, but I want to say thank you. I have not had a bad strain from any home grower or caregiver grower. Even craft grower too, let's just say. And I want to thank you all out there. If I don't mention you, just listen to the episode I smoked a strain on. I mentioned you a lot because we smoked a lot of weed, and it'll be 6 years. 420 this year will be our 6-year anniversary, and we've smoked a lot of weed and a lot of different strains. I mean, we've smoked some same strains twice here, like some fan favorites, but we've smoked a lot of different strains.
Yeah,
and we are about to hit our 250 episode. So just think how many.
It's at least 250 strains.
Yes, we've smoked.
Yeah, give or take.
Yeah, give or take. Probably let's just say
225.
No more than that. I would say like 230. 230, 232, whatever
Plus
it takes.
Plus the Grow Hour has 75 episodes.
75 episodes on that. I've smoked probably different strains.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've smoked a lot of different weed.
Yeah.
And a lot of different growers. And thank you all from the bottom of our hearts and our lungs and our heads and all the tingles we get in our toes from all the great weed we've enjoyed in almost 6 years of doing the show. I mean, it's just amazing. And thank you for giving to the cause.
That's crazy when you think about it, that we've sampled and then like all of the additional samples that we have had when we're out we've probably had
me personally,
400,
just
500
let's just say in 6 years.
Yeah,
because I've been smoking weed for a very long time.
Yeah.
But just in the 6 years we've been doing Weedman 420 Chronicles and 8 decades. I would say maybe close to 400.
400 different strains.
Yeah, that's a lot.
God, I wish we journaled it.
I wish we would have fucking kept track. Well, we do have a journal. Every show.
Yeah, we do.
We do.
That's good.
I wish we would have a journal of everything else, So, but yeah, so like I said, from the bottom of our hearts, from the top of our lungs to the tickle on our toes, from all the great strains we've tried, we love you. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate you out there. International news. Argentina to revoke all medical marijuana cultivation permits.
Why?
Argentina government plans to revoke all medical marijuana cultivation permits, citing irregulations in the system. The move follows a broader policy shift to reassess marijuana regulations, a major challenge in elimination of the cannabis registry program, which allowed medical marijuana cultivation for personal use. While President Milei supports drug legalization, the current focus will target illegal sales and unauthorized cultivation. The new policy could disrupt the medical cannabis industry, despite assurances that legal medicinal use will remain. Let people home grow. Let people home grow. Canadian cannabis sales soared in December, as all cannabis sales do in the holiday season. Statistics Canada released December retail sales for the country, with cannabis sales increasing from the November levels up 10% to a record 499.7 million. That's the whole country 1 month. Australian medicinal cannabis company looks to set up kiosk in New Zealand stores. Australian medical cannabis companies plans to introduce kiosk in New Zealand stores to facilitate patient access to its products. The kiosk aims to streamline the prescription process, allowing patients to consult with healthcare professionals and obtain prescriptions on site. This initiative seeks to enhance the availability of convenience of medicinal cannabis for New Zealand patients. Customs sees 398 million worth of cannabis in Lagos. Smugglers flee into the sea. The Nigeria Customs Service, Western Marine Command, has intercepted a massive shipment of cannabis sativa worth $398 million in Lagos, dealing the significant blow to the drug smuggling operations along the nation's waterways. Costa Rica approves medical cannabis sales in major healthcare shift. Go Costa Rica. Guess we're retiring. Costa Rica has approved regulations for sale of medicinal cannabis, allowing prescriptions for products made from psychoactive cannabis in pharmacies. This follows the 2022 legalization of medical cannabis use, but with limited progress until now. A new framework is expected to boost the economy, creating jobs and opportunities in pharmaceutical and research sectors. Patients will have access to a wide range of cannabis-based products such as flowers, oils, and edibles. High Court to hear case of whether cannabis ban in Namibia is unconstitutional. A Namibian High Court will hear arguments in 2025 on whether the country's cannabis ban is unconstitutional. Plaintiffs led by ganja users of Namibia representatives argue that the ban is outdated, harmful, and rooted in past discriminatory agendas. They seek to remove cannabis from the 1971 law criminalizing its use. The government defends the law, noting that the review of cannabis laws is underway. Any question is court's jurisdiction over such legislative matters. Here's another country that's about to fuck it all up. What will Germany's election outcome mean for the nation's cannabis industry? They just passed it, legalized it. Ready? Going to go back to the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
Following the recent German elections, conservative leader Friedrich Merz' victory may lead to a slowdown or the reversal of the country's cannabis reforms. Merz has previously criticized policies allowing adults to possess up to 25 grams of cannabis and cultivate 3 plants per household, attributing them to an increase in drug-related crime.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Now I'm going to go grow my own weed and then I'm going to go rob somebody.
Yeah.
I'm going to go rob somebody for money so I can go buy weed.
They're going to be drug dealers with their 2 plants.
Yeah.
They're going to be, yep.
Despite these concerns, Nicholas Korpanius, CEO of Bloomwell Group, suggests that significant policy reversal is unlikely due to the urgency of forming a new government. The new administration is expected to place by Easter, which is 4/20, by the way, a potential coalition between Merz and Christian Democratic Union and the Defense Social Democratic Party. In the meantime, Germany's cannabis industry continues to evolve with opportunities for both domestic and international operations. The market remains robust, and the companies are encouraged to explore potential partnerships and investment in the sector. I wouldn't, at least for fucking 6 months. I would wait and then be very patient to see what happens. Mm-hmm. I know there's a lot of money involved, a lot of importing going in right now from Canada and other companies. I don't think their medical is going to go anywhere.
Right.
But for recreational right now, I'll be a little standoffish on what I'm going to do with my money right now if I'm in Germany. I would kind of just slow it up a little bit, wait 30 days, 90 days maybe, just to see what happens. Medical's not going anywhere. Just step back. Be patient. Patience sometimes is a virtue, right, Mrs. Weedman?
That's right.
New York always does it right? Mm-hmm. Their flamboyant cannabis brands strut their stuff in New York Fashion Week.
Yeah.
Tell us about it, Mrs. Weedman.
Fashion shows are a spectacle of over-the-top creativity where designers push boundaries with outlandish designs, the perfect set for flamboyant cannabis brands to make a statement. At New York Fashion Week 2025, 2 standout brands, Pinks and Flamer, turned heads with their signature pink and red pre-rolls, blending cannabis culture with fashion and self-expression. Fronted by passionate founders whose values and personalities are the face of their brands, they celebrate and advocate for LGBTQI+ pride, civil rights, and social change, encouraging people to be unapologetic about who they are or what they stand for. At just 25 years old, Ali Bianco, the founder of Pinks, is a fearless creative with a lust for life, making waves not only as a cannabis entrepreneur, but also as a singer, songwriter, and pianist. Last year, she released her debut album, Hush Money Talks. I'm baked. I'm so sorry. Showcasing her artistic range beyond cannabis. And that's why I laughed at you, because you were stumbling over your words as I was lighting the joint, and
that's why I said no.
And deciding to get even more baked. So, excuse me. So, last year, she released her debut album, Hush Money Talks, showcasing her artistic range beyond cannabis. Her can-do spirit, flair for high fashion, and girly pop persona are at the heart of Pink's brand, making it as bold and expressive as she is. Bianco's connection to cannabis goes back to high school, where she first developed a deep appreciation for weed strains while also dealing in an upscale New Jersey suburb. When launching Pinks, she carefully selected pink runts and pink mimosa, both wrapped in rose petals, for an added touch of elegance. Every design detail of her product line reflects her vision, from the glass-tipped rose petals, pre-rolls in cute pink cases, to the flower packaged in soft velvet bags, and to their wood rolling tray styled like a jewelry box, complete with a built-in mirror. Describing her brand as Canna Couture, Bianco explains, there's an elegance in rolling up, lighting up, and fully embracing the moment. Pinks isn't just another pre-roll. It's a canna culture experience. Flamer is a pre-roll brand born out of New York City's queer community, where smoking and sharing a joint is a big part of the culture. It's founded by 3 activists who have marched, demonstrated, and organized events to stand up for diverse causes. Cannabis and the LGBTQI plus rights movement has long been intertwined, from the AIDS crisis of the 80s and 90s, when cannabis provided relief to patients, to modern-day advocacy for social justice. The Flamer ethos is about being incredibly inclusive of everyone and allowing unapologetic self-expression. For New York Fashion Week 2025, Flamer took an unconventional marketing approach, positioning its red pre-roll as a fashion statement rather than just a product. They focused on infiltrating fashion's most exclusive after-parties. Their strategy? Get their signature pre-rolls into the hands of fashion insiders, stylists, and cultural influencers, people who shape trends and conversations. Co-founder Matthias Alvial, a noted nightlife photographer, leveraged his industry connections to gain access to high-profile soirees, where the Flamer team and their brand ambassadors blanketed events, flaunting their red pre-rolls. As a queer-owned brand, Flamer thrives on self-expression, making its presence at Fashion Week a natural fit. With cannabis culture and fashion intersecting in bold new ways, brands like Pinks and Flamer prove that cannabis is more than just a product. It's a lifestyle, a statement, and a form of self-expression. New York Fashion Week 2025 showcased that today's cannabis brands are evolving beyond dispensary shelves, integrating into high fashion, nightlife, and cultural movements. As the industry continues to break stigmas, expect to see more cannabis brands embracing the runway, the red carpet, and the world of luxury fashion, because style and self-expression go hand in hand with lighting up.
There you go. There you go. There it is. It's now fashioned. Like, it's cool. Mainstream New York.
Yeah.
WWE, there was a wrestler that was getting interviewed. Mission, Michin, confirms that marijuana is no longer a banned substance in the WWE. During an interview, discussed various topics, including marijuana use in professional wrestling. She revealed that WWE has become more accepting of its use. A few years prior, it was removed from the banned substance list. She said because it's marijuana more legal in places, they've kind of accepted it. So before that marijuana used to be on the drugs list, and they took it off a couple of years ago. The decision follows an ongoing trend of people and companies being more open to the benefits marijuana can bring to people. From pain relief to mental health, it's good to see WWE is open to the benefits of marijuana and lets its talent make its decision whether they want to use it or not. Yes. Because wrestlers, whether you... Listen, we know there's scripts in wrestling. Who wins, who loses. But I've been to wrestling matches. They're professionals. They learn how to make falls. Let me tell you something. You get punched, slapped in the chest, backhanded by one of those guys, that fucking shit hurts.
Yeah. You're
going to be red. They're not out there trying to break bones, and they're man, if you landed on your head getting pile drive, you break your neck. They're trained professionals, and it's entertainment. But those guys get hurt.
They get
broken bones.
Beat up their bodies.
Oh my God. If you see Hulk Hogan now, or any wrestlers have been doing it, like Hulk Hogan's 72 years old. Yeah. And he's been wrestling since he was in his 20s.
Bad knees,
he was 6'5" or 6 foot. He was 6'7".
I think so.
At one time, 302 pounds.
He was a beast.
302 pounds, 6'7". He is now 6'1". I don't know what he weighs anymore, but 6'1". He's had like multiple surgeries on his body, back, knees, everything. The punishment they take, the Undertaker lost half of his cheekbone, shattered in a wrestling match. An amazing wrestler. If you look at all these guys that have been doing it, Ric Flair, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Woo! Just wrestling. He's 80, almost 76 years old. That's John Cena. You can't see me.
It's the only one I know.
About to retire, by the way.
I know. When you do the woo, I saw him in my head.
Man.
I know the
Ric
white
Flair,
hair,
greatest of all time. But I'm just saying, these guys put their bodies through, and for them, a lot of them got addicted to painkillers and drugs, heavy drugs. A lot of them died. Their bodies were beat up. Hulk Hogan, a lot of these guys now, Ric Flair, they all have the cannabis brands, CBD brands, all that stuff, because it helps them. It helps them. A lot of them don't drink it. A lot of them drank. A lot of them were heavy drinkers. Yeah. heavy drinkers, and now a lot of them are off of drinking, and they strictly just use weed. It's amazing what it can do for them. So I'm glad that it's more openly used now in the WWE. I think it's fucking awesome. So good stuff. I'm pretty stoned.
I'm really
Forgot to do the 8 Decades commercial. So before we go, everybody, check out 8decades.com for all your cannabis accessory needs. Check out 8decades.com. Mrs. Weedman's Baby. Free shipping for first-time buyers, right?
And while you're there, check out the Weedman 420 swag.
There
We've got
it is.
hoodies. We have T-shirts, totes, things. Good stuff.
Nice. Check
It's
out.
all high quality.
Yep.
Check it out.
Check out at 8decades.com and support a local small business owner like Mrs. Weedman and Mr. Weedman. We appreciate you. Ms. Weedman,
Mr. Weedman,
you got anything else to say?
have a great week, everybody. Spring is on its way.
Oh, it was beautiful today. 58 degrees.
In Chicago.
Yes. People were out in jorts and Dago tees already and Crocs already. I knew it. I was like walking Yuki. I'm like, oh my God, it's the last week of February and you get a nice day and look at it. 58 degrees. Well, it went from negative,
Last
30
week,
with the wind chill. You're talking, and it was 58 degrees today. So you're talking about almost 100 degrees, like an 80 degree swing or some shit.
In 7 days.
Crazy. Welcome to Chicago, ladies and gentlemen, in Illinois. So, everybody out there in the world, thank you for listening to the show. We appreciate it. We love you out there. As Paulie always says, smoke smart. Puff, puff, and away.
Puff, puff, pass.
Check out our cannabis lifestyle brand online at 8decades.com. Our custom smokes and accessories are perfect for your coffee table, bedroom nightstand, or kitchen counter. They're designed for you to show them off. The Canna community is also loving our hemp and cotton blend t-shirts, sweatshirts, scarves, and hats, finished off with our 8 Decades logo. We've got some awesome long-lasting goods that will be your favorite for years to come. 8 Decades, because a 9th decade of cannabis prohibition isn't acceptable.